Undisputed here on FS1. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and a man I owe congratulations to. All right, Shannon Sharp, I'll be the bigger person. Congrats to your Lakers.
Was she supposed to show up this morning? Neither one of you should have showed up.
I'm not a Pelicans fan.
Beat the brakes off them.
Wait a second. I need to find out what time is the parade in downtown LA today.
Ask Paul George.
I think the Lakers just won the championship
Ask
last
Paul
night.
George. He should tell you what the parade is.
Well,
we'll discuss
that's
it a
not
little
what he
later.
was talking about.
Yeah, well, what he was talking
We
about.
will definitely discuss that later. And in a few minutes, we're going to discuss your Lakers because they look like they should win. There are no more excuses now. LeBron has no more excuses.
You know I might alter my plans. They honored and go James in the All-Star game. You saw that?
I saw it. Well, you going?
You never know where I might show up at.
All right. That is a fact.
Could be an international man of mystery. All right, guys, we will break that game down in just a few minutes. But let's start over in the NFL this morning because, according to reports, Eric Bieniemy scheduled to interview today with the Commanders for their offensive coordinator position, not head coach. According to the report, Bieniemy would consider the lateral move with the assumption he would be running the entire offense, and it could be a springboard for him to land an eventual head coaching job. Shannon, what do you think? Should Bieniemy take this OC spot if he gets offered?
No. Why? And do what? Skip, he don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. It was Carson Wentz for like 3 weeks. Then it was Taylor Heineke for a couple of weeks. And the end of the season being Sam Howell. Also, what's going on with Washington? First of all, there's turmoil. It's been brought for the last decade. Now, there's there's an 80, 90% chance, Skip, they're going to be sold. The Commanders are going to be sold. New ownership comes in. What normally happens with new ownership, Skip? Unless you winning up out the yin-yang, they clean house. They let the hair go with the hide. So normally, general manager, head coach, coordinator, whoever that is up out of there. So why would you take a Skip, if you can't get a job and you're the OC, even if it's a name only, with Patrick Mahomes, how the hell you think you're going to get a job? You can't get a job and you got Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. You think you about to get a job with Sam Howell? With Carson Wentz? With Taylor Heineke?
Well, obviously, they will hit the free agent market hard. They will try to come away with the biggest name. I don't know who it is. It's Jimmy G. It's Ryan Tannehill. It's name somebody.
How about this?
It's Derek Carr.
I just want to know why come hot black candidates can't get coaching jobs when they're hot. Okay, let's go back to 2016, Skip.
Yep.
The Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Josh McDaniels get offered the job at the 18th hour. He said, no, I'm good. I'm staying. Sends the facts, I'm staying in New England.
Yep.
In 2017, Frank Reich, OC, gets it. He wasn't calling plays. Who was calling the plays, Skip? If I'm not mistaken, Dougie P was calling plays, right?
Yeah.
But Frank Reich gets the coach job. 2018, Rams lose the Super Bowl. He's not calling plays. Zach Taylor gets the job in Cincinnati. In 2019, Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Eric Bieniemy doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
2020, Byron Leftwich wins the Super Bowl. Doesn't get anything. He turns that down Let's put that out there, Skip. He did turn a job down. 2021, Rams win the Super Bowl. Kevin O'Connell does not call plays. Gets the head job at Minnesota. In 2022, Eric Bieniemy does not get hired. Shane Steichen does get hired.
He did.
You see the recurring theme right there, Skip Bayless? I am not touching. I don't want to go anywhere near Washington until they settle their situation with what's going on with ownership and all the things that's brewing from the above the coach up. I don't want that. I'm not touching it. So if I'm Eric Bieniemy, I'm going to stay my butt in Kansas City because if I can't get a job coaching Patrick Mahomes, I damn sure not going to get a job coaching Sam Howell, Carson Wentz, or Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke, I got it right all time, Skip. I'm going to leave that alone, Skip. I'm not fooling with it. Eric Bieniemy, stay where you are. This is a lateral move, but this is a suicide mission. If they don't think you're good enough right now, because you know what they're going to do, Skip, I can't believe the offense for Washington is no better than what they are. Did you see the quarterback that they got?
Yeah.
No. EB, stay where you are.
Okay. So we have a couple of stories in our overnight packet here on Undisputed, one from Time Magazine, the other from Nancy Armour of USA Today, about this theme of why can't hot black assistants get head coaching jobs when they are hot, when they should be right on schedule to get a job.
What do we talk about on Monday, Skip?
Okay.
The hot black candidates can't get no jobs.
Well, my problem with these stories is you can just check the tape. I have been saying the exact same thing the Time magazine article is saying and the Nancy Armour article is saying for 15 years on national TV because I have been dumbfounded by it. It has been inexplicable to me, but then in the end, it's really pretty explicable because I'm sorry, I'm going to just boil it down to these older white owners just aren't that comfortable with a black head coach because they need to interact. They need to go to dinner with the wives or the significants or whatever, and they're just not that comfortable.
Right.
When they do have an interview, it's going to be a quicker click with a young white hot candidate than it's just culture. It's just the way life is. And I don't know how to defeat it because each of these guys is an independent owner in the umbrella of the NFL. And it's hard to legislate. You must hire a black coach,
legislate
right?
That. No.
You can't unless it's in the man's heart to do the right thing. And every once in a while, we have the Rooneys in Pittsburgh who actually did the right thing. There's this young candidate out of Minnesota. And he's not even the coordinator at that point.
Yeah,
Was he the coordinator? I think he'd only been
He was the DB coach at Tampa, got the coordinator job in Minnesota after 1 year.
Okay, but it was only 1 year.
Yes.
And he was a nobody to me. I didn't know who he was.
Right.
I did know of his name on Tony Dungy's staff.
Yeah, correct.
But the Rooneys had him in, and they went out to dinner with the wives, and it clicked.
Yes.
And he said, I'm going to take a plunge on this guy, and I'd say that's one of the all-time great plunges, right?
Absolutely.
Every once in a while it happens, but it's just getting worse and worse. We just had another hiring cycle, and we got one black head coach out of it, out of the 5 that have been hired. It's not right. The league is, what are we going to call it, 70%?
Easy.
Is it more, maybe? It feels more.
It's at least 70%.
Okay, at least 70%. Let's just call it black, 70% black.
Right.
What is going on here? 2 + 2 equals oblivion. It's like, what's the problem?
Right.
And then I read these quotes from Jerry Jones, originally in the Washington Post, and he's saying, it's not the interview process, it's who you know. He made the point, I didn't hire Jimmy Johnson off an interview. He didn't need an interview. He played with him. He roomed with him at Arkansas as a teammate, right?
We talk about that.
Okay.
80% of the jobs are filled without an interview.
Okay.
Hey, Skip, you know somebody?
That's what it is. That's what it is. And then Jerry turned right around and fired Jimmy and hired Barry Switzer out of the blue.
He also knew.
Okay. Well, did he know him? Because Barry helped coach that team and had played at Arkansas. So they were like this. They were very close.
Right.
And then he said he almost hired Denny Green but Parcells became available. So if that's true, I got no problem because Bill Parcells is one of the all-time greats. And if he, in fact, did become available as you were about to hire Denny Green, I get that. But the reason Jerry said he wanted to hire Denny Green is they had served together on the competition committee and they had gotten to know each other. They had socialized.
Right.
So...
But think about that, Skip. He said he hired Jimmy Johnson because he knew him. He hired Barry because he knew him.
Yep.
Now he get an opportunity to hire Denny Green, who he served with. He went with a guy he didn't know.
He didn't know.
That was White. You see what he did?
But everybody knew that White coach because he, at that point, was revered as the greatest coach, right?
But here's the thing. What I deduced from what he said, yes, you White, I know you, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
If you White and I don't know you and there's a black guy that I do know, I'm still going to get you.
I got it.
Because he had the opportunity. Skip, you know how close lock, stop, and barrel you got to walk with a guy on the competition committee?
Yeah.
Y'all in every room, the face mask, the illegal contact, the this, the that.
And you're having dinners together.
Yeah, you in the room with that man all the time on the meetings.
Okay. And Jerry's saying, God, I kind of like this black man. You know, like,
yeah.
Okay. Because Jerry didn't grow up around a lot of black people.
No.
Okay. All right. Now back to Eric Bieniemy. I think we're up now to, this may be an unofficial count, I think 17 is what Time reported, that he's 17 times interviewed. Right. 17 times. Well, this is shameful. This is almost becoming punishment for Eric Bieniemy, right?
Right.
I did go through this once upon a time with the coach you know, with Dan Reeves. I'm going way back, but this is in the White coaching cycle.
Yes.
When all of a sudden I was out here covering the Rams in L.A. This is in the 70s. But just a quick point of order here. I called Dan Reeves, who was a candidate for the job. He'd been through about 17 interviews, and he'd been the bridesmaid every time he'd finished second for, I don't know, maybe 10 plus jobs, double-digit jobs. And the Rams had lost Chuck Knox, who had gone up to Buffalo to coach O.J. Simpson and the electric company, and all of a sudden they need a coach. And I told you I tried to campaign for them to hire Eddie Robinson, because I'd spent a week with Eddie Robinson and Doug Williams at Grambling. Eddie's one of the greatest coaches of all time. I know he's just a college coach, but I know he can be a head coach because I watched him head coach Grambling State, right? Okay, so I called Dan Reeves to say, what's your interest level? He said, well, if I lose this one, I don't think I'll ever get a head coaching job because they're going to condemn me as the guy who finished second. Somebody's going to sit back and say, well, why does he always finish second? They must, and it's a sheep-think league. And so all of a sudden, it gets to, it starts to feed off itself. And thankfully, somebody, I don't know who hired Dan in Denver. I don't know who was in charge at that point, but somebody.
I think Phillips. I think the owner was Gerald Phillips.
Maybe it was, but somebody had the vision to say, I don't care how many times he finished second, I'm going to take a shot. And guess what? Dan Reeves turned out to be pretty great, right? As you well know. Okay, he was your first.
He was my first head coach.
First head coach. Okay, now back to Eric Bieniemy. I hear you about the Washington situation. It's a wreck. Upstairs, it's a wreck. Ron Rivera is not a wreck. I think he's a very good head coach, and he did get a team in Carolina to the Super Bowl. And he always puts a pretty good product on the field to my eyes. But he is defense first. He's all defense all the time. The reason I would encourage Eric to take this shot is because if you truly want to be a head coach, you're now going on 54 years of age. In August, he turns 54. Well, at some point, in the next few years, they're going to say, well, he's just too old to get his first head coaching job as he approaches 60 years of age.
Big Fangio was damn near 70 before he got his first one.
Thank you. Okay, I got it. But I'm trying to eliminate the excuses that could crop up here.
They got another one. So they got excuses you ain't even thought of yet.
There you go. Okay, so what could happen in Washington? They got the 15th overall pick. They might be able to get one of those kids if somebody falls, Levis falls, the Florida quarterback falls. Maybe you'd have a developmental project. I kind of like Sam Howell. They did a 26-6 number on my Cowboys in that final regular season game. He had his moments. That team has skill position players. McLaurin and Curtis Samuel and Dotson and Logan Thomas and the kid Brian Robinson, who got shot and obviously came back, and he's pretty good. And I always liked Antonio Gibson, and McKissick's pretty good. So they've got some. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's a credible skill position, a group of weapons to me. So your only hope, I'm just telling you, his only hope right now is to go take a job.